Welcome to the Fresh Dirt, where we talk about all the various curious topics we're interested in related to health, wellness, and our bodies. I just turned 40 and I'm curious about perimenopause and menopause. So today we're with doctors and menopause experts, Dr. Nic and Nat. Welcome to the Fresh Dirt. Tell us a little bit about you and where you come from and how you got into this.
I'm Dr. Nat. I'm Dr. Nic. And we are the co-owners of Durham Natural Health Center, which is a clinic that we own in Ajax, but we see patients virtually all over the province. We have a team of naturopathic doctors and a team of nurse practitioners, and we really help women through perimenopause and menopause.
And you're both twins.
We're twins. We're twins. Yes.
And
I'm older.
They're like the same age in my mind. Right? Yeah, it doesn't matter. And you're both twins and you're both naturopathic doctors. You were naturopathic doctors first before getting into this practice and focus on menopause. So tell me a little bit about like what made you as twins want to both get into naturopathic health and become doctors. Was this like a rock, paper, scissors? Like we want to do everything together? Like who's going to decide what career we're going to do?
No, I feel like it was like the total opposite. And I think everybody thinks we grew up in this like very granola household where we saw naturopathic doctors as children. And like that is like the farthest thing from the truth. But it's part of me being a twin that kind of got me interested in naturopathic medicine. When I was in my late teens, early 20s, I had really bad acne. Okay. And my sister didn't. And I would see she did it.
That is so hard. You're like, why me in a way?
Totally. Like, why me? And then also, like, I would see doctors and I was told, like, this is bad luck. And I'm like, but I have a genetic identical who doesn't have this. And nobody's asking me about what I'm eating, my lifestyle, what I'm doing, my stress level, products I'm using. Like, nobody was asking me the questions to me that felt so relevant to getting a solution for this.
Yeah.
So I sort of sought out naturopathic care and figured out what was going on.
In your teens?
Late 20s. I was early 20s, I should say. Okay. So like in university.
It's still new then though, because naturopathic, I remember like I just turned 40 and when I was in my late 20s, there was a girl that was like, I'm going to go to school to become a naturopathic doctor. I remember she was a yoga instructor at the yoga studio I always went to. And she was like, my parents are just so upset. It's like, they just don't think I'm going to have a career.
Our
like,
parents asked us the same thing. Like, can you make a living at this?
They're like, you're not going to make a living. And I was like, you just follow your heart.
Yeah.
Do you. But in my head, I was like, is she going to make a living? I think it's cool, but it doesn't seem to be the cool thing right now.
Totally. And at the time, it was very much like, I remember like going to dinner parties and being like, oh, I'm studying to be a naturopathic doctor. And people being like, a what?
And like, okay, like, very alternative of you.
Totally. Like so fringe. So fringe. Yeah. That was sort of like my journey to discovering naturopathic medicine. And when we were at McMaster, we both did our undergrad together at McMaster University. And the naturopathic college came and did a presentation. And I sat in on it. And I was like, oh, this is the system of medicine that is going to, I think, help my skin. But also, I think, an area that I'm super interested in, where we're going to talk about your diet and your exercise and your lifestyle and your supplements and all these other like practices that can really help your health. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I finished an undergrad in kinesiology.
You did it first.
I did it first. So I kind of like on this. I applied. I was like into the school. I was like, I'm going here in September. And I was just finishing up my undergrad, took a year off, and I started working as a personal trainer. And I was working with women in their 40s and 50s, and I was helping them with their nutrition and their exercise plan. And I started to see like their cholesterol levels were getting better. Their blood pressure was getting better. They come back from these appointments with their doctors and like reporting all of these amazing findings that were happening.
And this was in your 20s?
Yes.
And so in your 20s, you're working with women in their 40s and 50s. What made you want to work with women in their 40s and 50s?
It just happened. It was a women's gym. And so it was just naturally what they attracted and naturally what I ended up starting to see.
Okay.
And I remember being like, this is medicine. This is it. This is medicine. Like if we can change how people show up in their life, then we can and improve some of these markers. We can have such a profound impact on health.
Now, when you're doing that, what type of workouts were you? Because you're obviously in your 20s, so like you're not doing this from experience. You're not like I've gone through this. No. It's like okay, I'm just working with women in their 40s and 50s. What kind of workouts were you doing then? Because I know today, and we'll get to that, everyone's all about like eating lots of protein and like weight gain, not weight gain, but like, lifting more weights and that type of thing. So what, as a 20-year-old, were you
doing
with
women? Strength training. Okay. And it was really, like a lot of women were really unfamiliar, right? Like women come to a gym and they're comfortable on a treadmill, right? You go in, you make one decision, you show up, you stay for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
The weight room is intimidating.
100%.
Like, women don't know what to do. There's so many decisions to make.
100%. So you're like, I don't want to look stupid. Everyone knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? I have to spend $120 an hour on a personal trainer or more today. So like, I'm just going to like go to the treadmill and hope for
And just hang out there. And I think because I worked at the gym too, because we were twins, so we did that. But the gym being a women's gym, I think attracted even more women who were nervous about being in the gym. So they're like, oh, if I go to the women's only gym, then I don't have the gym bros here with me. And like, this is going to be even more comfortable. So it was a lot of women who are like really green to training.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did weight training. So from a very early age, you were brought into naturopathic medicine through your journey as a teen with acne and realizing that as a twin, I had a very different experience growing up because I had acne, my twin didn't. And you just intuitively felt like this might have to do with something more than just bad luck. And then you organically fell into it because you're like, I'm going to get into personal training. I love health and wellness. Yeah. And at a women's gym, you just naturally started working with women in their 30s and 40s and 50s. So at a very early age in your 20s, you've already been seasoned into this role of working with women in their 40s and 50s as you've entered your 40s.
Yes. But I think when we stepped into practice, so like fast forward to us graduating naturopathic school, deciding to open a practice together, we opened a very general family practice.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, we just want to help the health of our community. We will see women. It was mostly women that we were attracting, but we had like a very general women's health focused. But then at the height of 2020, like things shifted for us.
Yeah.
COVID. And stress. Yeah, stress. Crazy time. And we had these like busy practices with wait lists to all of a sudden, like our calendars completely cleared. Like everybody's waiting.
It's the opposite for you. So COVID happened and all of a sudden your practice just...
Everybody's waiting to come back in person. We had this 8-person business.
Fine. Okay.
They did not right away. And so what happened was the first people who started to reach back out were women in their 40s and 50s.
And why was that, do you think?
They were so symptomatic. They were so impacted by the stress.
What are the symptoms?
So what they started to experience was mood changes, insomnia, not feeling like myself. Maybe there were some hot flashes in there, but they just felt like things were shifting for them. And they were the first ones to reach back out.
So I'm curious about this. Now, women in their 40s and 50s are reaching back out first during the pandemic with these symptoms that you've just described, which are perimenopause, menopause symptoms. Now, you're saying it might be related to stress because obviously during the pandemic, we're not in community. We're under stressful situations. We don't know what's happening in the world. Our jobs might be precarious. Do you think, or have you seen that some of these perimenopause and menopause symptoms can be ignited or worsened with stressful situations?
Yeah.
That's
often what we'll see. I mean, part of it, there's certainly a hormonal decline, but I think it was in that moment you like called me because we were like working in our houses, like on virtual calls. And you called me one day after practice and you're like, what's going on with all these women in their 40s and 50s? Like, am I just seeing this all day long or are you? Like, and you were like, there's something more than stress here. Yeah. It's bigger than just stress. Like I've treated stress before for like in our practices. You're like, there's something else going on. And like, I think we realized like a knowledge gap for us. And I was like, we got to go digging. Like there's something more here. There is like, and truthfully in the naturopathic education, we got like this much knowledge about perimenopause and menopause, which I think is true in the medical world as well. So we went and like did a fellowship, did a deep dive, and really started to like educate ourselves about like what was going on in this transition. We got Menopause Society Certified.
And tell me, what is Menopause Society Certified? Because I looked it up online. It looks like it's a 2-year course.
It's an exam that you have to write.
Okay,
and
tell us about what is this? Tell us about the certification.
Yeah,
so we all need to know like what certification people should be taking.
Yeah, so it's self-study, and so you study on your own, and then you have to write this exam. And if you pass the exam, then you become Menopause Society certified. It's quite in depth. Like you have to have a knowledge base in menopause. We at the time were doing a fellowship alongside it, which really helped with the knowledge base. That's not a requirement. You just have to pass this test. But what they've done is they've created this database of practitioners who are well versed and are like understand menopause care well. And so they have this beautiful database on their website where you can go and look up a Menopause Society certified practitioner so that you know that you're going to see somebody who is educated in this space. And so our whole clinic is Menopause Society certified.
They're all educated in it.
Yeah. Naturopathic doctors, nurse practitioners who are all have that certification. It's just a standard that we have at the clinic.
I love that. So now that we're getting into like people finding out, like,
Yeah.
clearly there's a menopause, perimenopause trend happening now.
Yeah.
I'm curious at two things. So one is you're saying that all these women in their 40s and 50s were starting to reach out during the pandemic. Perhaps it was stress induced. Do you also think it was because it was trending more that women in their 40s and 50s should take care of their health? Or why all of a sudden now are more women in their 40s and 50s during the pandemic reaching out first versus before? What do you think was sparking that?
I think the stress was amplifying things.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was sort of like, I think women had so much going on. Obviously, they're like, okay, manage your career and homeschool your children and don't see your friends and like have zero sahur. Like, it was like a wild time, obviously.
Yeah.
But so I think the stress and what we hear a lot, like now in normal life, what we hear a lot is women realize that their like resiliency to stress changes.
Mm-hmm.
So like what I could hold before, I'm struggling with. And we'll hear that from patients all the time. They're like, all of a sudden, like things that you didn't used to stress me out, all of a sudden are like, I'm feeling it more, or I'm questioning my abilities, or I have brain fog, or I'm worried about different things. So there is this sort of like amplified nervous system response through the perimenopausal transition that we see. And that's due to, shifting hormones. That's due to lack of sleep. That is due to sometimes if your habits aren't on track where they should be and like the hormonal changes. But I think a lot of women, like in terms of your question as well, of like they're coming and they're reaching out and we're hearing a lot more about it on social media. Like it's definitely having a moment, right? 2020, not as much, but like fast forward a few years and now it is having a moment.
Having a moment.
It's everything you hear about, right? And like sometimes the story is very doom and gloom about this phase of life.
Not a fan of the doom and gloom.
I'm not either. And it doesn't.
Not a fan of it at all.
It doesn't have to be. And that's like one of our big, one of the things that we really believe is that like with the right support, women can truly feel amazing through this time.
Yeah.
They need the right tools and need the right support. But I think now what I see is a lot of times we point the finger so quickly at our hormones and we so quickly want to blame it on that when there may be other things going on alongside the hormone transition. Right? It's a common time for deficiencies. A lot of women are iron deficient. Well, iron deficiency looks like brain fog, mood changes, can affect your sleep, right? A lot like perimenopausal symptoms. And so it's not that hormones aren't necessarily to blame, but it could be there's this happening and something else going on at the same time. And it's important to make sure that we're not just always pointing our finger at the hormones and only kind of looking at things in that one silo, because there can be a couple of things happening at the same time.
There's layers.
Absolutely.
There's layers. And I love that you're saying, it's not a pity party. It's not like a doom and gloom, because I was actually thinking about on the way over here, it's similar. It's just a part of life. I mean, when you're a teen and you're 10 and all of a sudden you go through puberty as you do, it's extremely volatile and uncomfortable. And no one's kind of like, it's not doom and gloom. It's just a part of life. And then you adjust to it. You get different skincare or you get different size clothes. You might have to get a bra.
Yeah.
There's different things you have to get. You just adjust. You adjust. Like you grow from diapers to underwear as a baby.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. It's messy. There's toilet training. It's not really fun for everyone, especially the parents. And then there's that other key phase in your teens and tweens. And now there's another key phase, which is just peri and menopause, which we just maybe haven't been equipped to go through because no one really talked about it.
Yeah, totally. And we call it like reverse puberty.
It's reverse puberty.
That's
kind of something in a way. Puberty wasn't fun.
It's the end of your reproductive life. Like it is that like shifting of hormones in sort of the opposite direction. Like in puberty, things are entering your system, and here they're like leaving your system. And I think with the right support, it doesn't have to be this like doom and gloom. But a key point to what you were saying is like you have to be properly assessed, so we don't just point our fingers at your hormones.
We don't just point the fingers at one thing, because there's layers to it.
Totally.
There's multiple layers. So I just turned 40, and I've never really thought about perimenopause, menopause, never. I also grew up on like a farm. So I grew up on a 174-acre farm where you eat breakfast, you go to pasture, literally like into the field, and then you come back when you hear the wolves howling. So it was very like you figure it out on your own. And I'm really grateful for that upbringing. That being said, there's a lot of things that I just don't know about, I haven't thought about. I don't really get sick very often because I think I was exposed to so many different germs, and drinking well water and eating vegetables from the garden. I just never had a lot of that over sanitation of things. So that being said, I don't experience sickness. Like I don't get the flu. I'll get run out. I'll get run down. And so when I asked my mom, I was like, did you ever go through menopause? And she's like, no.
You
So like, did you? Oh, okay. Yeah. Like, did you get the symptoms of menopause? Did you go through menopause? And she's like, no, I don't think so. And it was just moving on. Like, okay. And that comes from like, just our family upbringing. You don't really feel the feelings necessarily, or it's just things that happen and you kind of move on from it. And I go, okay, well, so then in my mind, I'm like, am I going to go through menopause?
Well,
like, will I? Yeah. Like, is this a thing? And one thing I wanted to ask was that part of my mindset right now is I'm like, well, I don't want to overthink about it, because I feel like if I overthink about it and I overanalyze it, my brain will start to amplify these symptoms that maybe wouldn't have been there if I hadn't have overthought it. So tell me about that balance. Is there an overthinking about the menopause symptoms that can happen, or an underthinking that can happen?
For sure. And I think we need to like maybe redefine like what midlife health looks like. And I always say like, midlife health is about like an opportunity for change. Mm-hmm. Your body is changing, so your approach to your health needs to shift a little bit. And this is why sometimes we'll hear women come into our practice and like, the things I was doing in my 20s and 30s aren't working anymore.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is where things are shifting. Your hormones are changing, your body is changing, and we just need to put new tools in place to help you thrive. And I think like every woman will go through menopause. So menopause is defined as not having a period for 12 months. So once you have gone 12 months without a period, that is your day of menopause. Menopause is actually one day.
It's one day.
Every day thereafter is considered post-menopause.
It's a one-day experience.
It's a one-day. Buy cake and celebrate. It's one day. It's one day.
So you could time it. You could be like, oh my God, it's been 365 days without my period.
That's it.
Let's celebrate my menopause day. It has happened.
You got it. And then every day thereafter is considered post-menopause.
It's over.
But then many women will still refer to that time as menopause.
Understood.
But symptomatically, like a lot of times the symptoms will start before the last menstrual period.
Okay.
And so when the hormones are starting to become a little more erratic is when a lot of times the symptoms will show up. And that's considered perimenopause. And that can start 7 to 10 years before that final menstrual period.
So I might be in perimenopause. I don't think I'm in perimenopause yet. Maybe I'm in denial a little bit, but I will say, I don't know what to say. I'm like, tell me what I should expect if I'm in perimenopause and what to do. Because I have been told I'm low in iron, and I did go to an iron specialist. Yeah. And her response to me was, it's so normal for women to be low in iron. Like, you don't need the iron infusion. Like, just live your life. And I was like, okay, cool. So I didn't get the iron infusion, and I'm wondering if I should.
Yeah, we do iron infusions in our practice, and sometimes they can be like game changing in terms of getting your iron levels up, and then recognizing whether or not your symptoms are due to iron deficiency or due to hormones. So sometimes when I'm working with patients and we identify low iron, I'm like, we can orally supplement, we can infuse, we can decide sort of what the approach is, but like sometimes we need to check that box to be like, is this iron deficiency or is this your hormones? And if we can correct that and you feel better, we go, great. It was just like iron deficiency that we needed to correct and not necessarily hormones.
Yeah.
But things to look for, like the late to the party symptoms that we always hear about are like hot flashes, night sweats, skipping periods, cycle changes. Like those are late to the party.
Late to the party, that's
like later. Yeah, sort of menopause.
What are the early symptoms in perimenopause when someone's like, I don't know if I'm perimenopause or not, or if I just don't like my partner today.
Yeah.
Like, should we break up, or am I just perimenopause?
Right.
I'm not sure.
Totally. Yeah. So part of it is like mood changes, that irritability, that frustration, maybe a new onset anxiety, sleep changes. Those are the two that clinically we will see like most often, but it's not all month long. And the early stages is generally like for 3 to 4 days before my period, like I don't like him and I'm not sleeping good. Or like they're just like this irritability that is there, that's present. So the first thing I would say is like just start tracking your cycles and track your symptoms. And if you're noticing this like cyclical correlation, that can be super helpful for your provider to like help you identify, is this hormones, is this iron, like what might be going on? And to like anchor you to time frame of when this can happen. So menopause, so that not having your period for a year, is the average age is between 45 and 55. Normal age is between 45 and 50. Average is about 51. But if you're between that like 45 to 55, and then if perimenopause is 7 to 10 years before that, depending on when that is going to be for you, that could start as early as 35, like your late 30s. It also could start as late as your like mid to late 40s, right? So being 40 and just meaning you've entered your 40s doesn't mean that you're starting to experience this just yet, right? But those are kind of the time frames.
How did you go through, have you gone through perimenopause yet? How did you know?
Yeah.
And how did it differ as twins?
Yes. We're 42, we're going to be 43 soon.
Yeah.
We're both, yes. Yeah. So for me, it was mood changes, especially the week before my period.
Describe the mood.
So it like irritable, maybe like anxious for things that would normally not make me anxious, having a hard time holding the capacity for stress in like when I'm normally like, I'm fine with all these things. But that was like kind of like 1 week of the month, cycle changes, you know, periods not being the classic, you know, 28, 30 days they'd always been. Now they're like 21 days.
Okay.
22 days. And then hot flashes. So starting to get hot flashes.
During the day or just at night?
Both. Our clinic, we have 2 levels to our clinic, and I was in the basement one day in like a winter day, and I was wearing a tank top and a blazer, and I came upstairs and I had like the blazer off. I was in a tank top. I go up my receptionist, like a heater next to her, a big wool sweater. She's like,
and she's a little bit younger.
She's older, so she's past.
She's past it. Okay,
she's like, I think you're like a little warm for the temperature today. I'm like, oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I think you might be right.
Say that's a sign. That's a big tank tops in the winter.
Tank tops in the winter.
Got it.
Adjusting, like started to be like, I'm starting to think about my outfits because I know we were at the menopause show and I had to think about the blouse I was going to wear. This was October, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to wear that satin blouse to this event because
I'll need to change it.
Yeah, and that's like not normally. No, I'm always cold. I've always been cold my whole life.
So did yours happen first?
You got hot flashes first.
I got, yeah, sure. It doesn't matter how old you are.
No, she's the younger one.
The last fan by who knows how many minutes or hours, and you got the hot flashes first. And then what were your symptoms for perimenopause?
I would say like mood stuff.
Okay.
Like irritability, like low tolerance.
Give me an example.
Like just like, and like overstimulated is maybe how I would like describe it. Like the kids were being loud and crazy, and I would just like, normally I'd be able to like handle that, and I'm like snapping at them. I'm like, oh, that's not like the mom I want to be.
Yeah.
And then like 3 days later being like totally normal and back to myself. Or sometimes I would describe it like just this like gray cloud over me for a day, but then it lifts. Like it would lift, and I'd be like, there's like I felt like really different on those days. Like I just didn't feel like myself. And I think that's probably one of the hallmark things we'll hear patients say in practice, like, I just don't feel like myself. They've actually like coined that term for perimenopause too.
I just don't feel like myself.
That is like in medical journals now. Like I just don't feel like myself as a symptom. Yeah.
Oh. It's a symptom in a medical job.
Like they're like starting to talk a lot more about it. Like it's like a symptom, and we hear this all the time in practice, all the time. Women, like once we get them on the right support and start supporting them properly, they're like, I feel like myself again.
That should be on a T-shirt.
Yeah,
It's so menopause.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're both in perimenopause. I'm so inspired. And you had symptoms, but then because you're both doctored and you work in this practice, were you able to just kind of fix it, attend to it? How did you solve it?
Yeah, we got some support. So we got some support.
What does that look like? What is
like
support
for you and I? That look like starting like a low dose of HRT. So it's low dose of hormones to balance things out a little bit, and then getting really intentional with like our habits.
Like what?
Like
Tell me about the habit.
Like, I'm going to describe ours, which might be far for some. So I'm just going to anchor that like I didn't start here. I didn't start here. This was like an evolution of a routine.
And for those who are watching this, you don't have to start here.
No.
You can start at 1%.
Totally.
And then it compounds over time and just build on it. You've gotten to this baseline. It took you some time. So tell me when you wake up, what you do. Like just walk me through your morning.
Yeah.
The time, what you do, how long it is.
We're up at 5.
Okay.
Gym, you'll pick me up or I pick you up. Yeah. Hit the gym, work out for an hour, come back.
Balance.
It's a mix. It's a mix. Weight probably 3 days a week, high intensity cardio a couple of days a week. We go to a gym where we don't have to think. It's a class-based.
Okay, so it's a class-based thing. So you show up, they tell you what to do, you do it, you leave. You're not doing your own routine.
No. But it's a combo strength and cardio. Then I get home. 6:45, coffee, protein and some creatine in there because I'm doing everything I can to support my lean muscle mass. So that, and then a really good breakfast.
Tell me what a really good breakfast is. And 2 more things. When you work out in the morning, do you eat before you work out?
I do.
Okay, so we're back to training.
Yeah, sorry.
So we wake up at 5, but I'm sure people are like, you wake up at 5? What time do you go to bed at?
I like to be in bed by 9:30.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you go to bed at 9:30 so you can wake up at 5 and be fully rested.
Yes.
You wake up at 5.
Yeah.
Do you journal? Do you meditate? Do you do any of that stuff?
I'm pretty up and gone.
You're up and gone.
Up
What are
and
you
gone,
eating?
But I'm either grabbing, oftentimes it's a banana and some toast. Yeah, that's like yours. Yeah.
We're doing like easy.
Like I need some carb.
A
quick carb for my
work
workout.
sugar.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then protein coffee and like a real breakfast when I get home.
And what's the real breakfast?
Then I'll do like an overnight oats with chia seeds and raspberries or blueberries, whatever I have in there. But like carbs, we need carbs.
You need carbs.
We need carbs. We're also working out. I'm like, this is my routine because we're working out like at a high intensity, high level. This is going to be different for everybody, but women need to not fear carbs.
We need to not fear carbs.
Yeah, we need.
Are we afraid of gluten?
No,
we're not afraid of gluten.
Unless you're gluten sensitive.
Okay, we're not afraid of
like
gluten.
I'm not telling every patient off gluten. I'm not telling everyone needs to be gluten
away.
Not unless you need to.
Understood.
Yeah.
Now, are you working at Monday to Friday and then taking Saturday and Sunday off? How important are these rest days? Because I know people are like, I need to go to the gym. I want to lose weight. I'm going to work out every single day. I'm going to do 75 hard. I'm going to go. How important are rest days for people going through perimenopause?
Yeah.
Postmenopause. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we can get a lot of aches and pains in our body when our estrogen levels decline. And so it's really important that we listen to our body. So I think rest days are important. I also think health isn't built in 75 days. Health isn't built in 30 days. Mm-hmm. And so we need to find a pace that we can sustain because this is not a short-term fix. This is like, what is the pace that you can do long-term? And so while I love the ambition of something that like gets us going and we do this, what I get more excited about is someone who can create a plan, stick to it, and tell me that they're doing it 3 years later. Because I know that that's going to have a bigger impact on their health than stop. And midlife is really kind of this like opportunity for like laying the foundation for the habits we need to have forever. Mm-hmm. Like those are I tell patients, I'm like, hey, we're going to start shrinking and we're never stopping.
It's not a short-term fix. It's not a short-term fix.
This is a thing we are going to do forever. We are going to do this forever.
So I love that. I have a question about, so we've covered when you wake up, we have diet. We're not afraid of carbs. We need to work out 4 to 5 days a week. Eating lots of protein, I'm guessing. Yeah. Not saying. Yeah. I'm afraid of protein now. So like, tell me what's going on. There's protein in pop. I'm confused.
Yeah. So this is the season when we are starting to lose muscle mass. Mm-hmm. And our lean, I always say like if we can do nothing for our health in midlife, if we can bank muscle, having muscle in your body is going to be a really great strategy for aging well, right? We want to be independent. We want to be strong. We want to be able to prevent chronic illness. Muscles on a body help with all of that. Mm-hmm. And so protein is the fuel that is required to maintain some of that tissue. And so this whole protein craze is, it's everywhere now, but it has a place, like it is important for us. And so a lot of times women's bodies are shifting and changing because we're losing muscle mass, mm-hmm. and we need to try to preserve that. And so protein helps to do that. Women are often grasping for things during the season. So we're gaining weight. We don't like it. It's midsection weight gain, typically. Not fun. No one likes it.
No one wants it.
And so we start fasting or we start doing these different diets, which, when we start doing that, we often will miss opportunities to have protein. And so I think it's really important that we change the narrative during this time to like, this needs to be a season of fueling our body, but we need to be fueling it properly. Mm-hmm. And protein is a big piece of that.
Can you explain to me a couple of protein options that are plant-based versus animal protein? Because some people, I think, feel like, oh, it's protein. It must always come. I must be eating meat all the time. But I think there's other sources of protein. So can you explain to me a balance of protein? Like broccoli apparently has a lot of protein. So how would you, I want
to extrapolate that to a lot.
Stop. Please explain. So just having like a balanced diet. Let's say someone's like, okay, I'm going to eat meat all day long. If there's a plant-based option or a balanced option, like what is a good mix of protein?
Yeah, like beans, legumes, hemp hearts, tofu, like those are all like eggs, soy milk, edamame. Those are all options that somebody could add in that are not animal-based. But I think what happens with nutrition is we do this, right? Like we go, protein is the most important thing and we're going to put protein in everything. That's all we're going to do, right? And it's like, we need to be prioritizing protein, but we also need to be mindful, especially in midlife, of our fiber intake.
Because no one's pooping now because everyone's eating so much protein. Exactly. I was at a conference today and I go, everyone had protein and everything. And this one marketing manager goes, we're not doing any more protein. fiber is the next trend. And I'm like, because no one's pooping. Everyone's eating protein. So we got to balance it out.
100%. That was like, we need to be watching the fiber. We need to make sure that we're getting that alongside the protein. When we're getting protein, we don't want it to be like all animal-based and high-fat animal products. It's not great for our cardiovascular health long term. And so we need to make sure that we have this really like balanced approach to nutrition. So this is where like carbs come in. They have fiber, they have vitamins, they have minerals. They're important. And, you know, if we can sprinkle in some leaner animal sources or vegetarian sources, like that's usually a better approach for long-term health.
So in summary, trends get tired.
Yeah.
Trends get tired.
Yeah, they do.
So we just got to stay consistent. Consistent is cool.
Yes, and everything. Consistency is everything. Absolutely everything. And then I think it's like finding that balance in your nutrition. Like whole food. We need to like break it down to like simple, like back to whole foods, cooking at home, layering on some protein, hitting some fiber, some healthy fats. Not complicated.
It's not, we don't have to make it complicated.
We don't have to.
So we've covered, you know, diet, consistent, clean, keep it real. Like real. It's literally keep it real.
Yeah.
Work out, make it attainable.
Yeah.
There was a woman I met recently and she was like, you know, she goes, I wanted to lose weight. I wasn't healthy. I told myself this story that I had this inflamed knee. I couldn't do anything. And a year ago, she's like, I just started walking an hour every single morning and I lost all this weight. And then I went to the gym once a week. And then I went to the gym twice a week. And now a year later, she's like, I go 5 times a week and it's non-negotiable. So it doesn't have to start from 5 days a week and feel like this overbearing journey. It can really just be little steps, 1% compounds a little bit.
Totally.
Every other day.
Totally.
So we've got diet, we've got protein, a mix of protein, hormones, which is HRT. Tell me, HRT is hormone replacement
therapy.
It sounds very intimidating.
Yeah, the sort of newer term is menopause hormone therapy is what we're sort of using more now, but these are using body identical or bioidentical products. So basically what your body makes, and we're just giving you a little extra.
And how do you take it? Is this a shot? Is it a pill?
That's a great question. Yeah. So generally speaking, hormone therapy is done with an estrogen product. And that estrogen product is typically delivered through the skin. So it's either a gel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know this.
Yeah. So it's either like a pump, it's like it's a gel, or it's a patch. And
like a little
stick.
HRT, not so scary. It's just a little patch or a gel. It's not pills. It's not a
well,
pill.
The estrogen needs to be paired with a progesterone.
Okay.
The progesterone is a pill.
Understood.
Okay. So that's like you take a bedtime, you take that little pill, but the estrogen is what's usually having the bigger impact. And it is delivered through the skin.
And when can someone see results from that? Or see an impact?
Yeah. Well, whenever we like prescribe it in practice, we'll tell patients like we'll see the full benefit of that dose and that hormone regime at 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
So sometimes we'll see it like I'll have patients come back and like, oh my gosh, within a week I could notice like a change in my hot flashes, but we typically give it that 2 to 3 months before we're like changing dose or adjusting or anything like that. And it's not a set it and forget it prescription, right? If we're starting it with somebody who's in perimenopause, like we're probably starting with a lower dose than someone who may be, you know, closer to the end of their last period, whose estrogen levels may be like lower than that other phase. So we're always sort of adjusting and tweaking and until we really get symptom relief. The whole goal is symptom relief.
Symptom relief.
Yeah.
And now, is this the importance of why someone would go to a naturopathic doctor, for example, versus, I mean, it's important to go to your family doctor. It's important to go to the hospital when you need to. Like all medical advice is great advice. If you take what you need, you leave what you don't. Now, would someone be going to a naturopathic doctor like yourselves because they can explain their symptoms and get a layered, personalized approach that may help them understand how to come out the other side in a healthy, you know, feeling like themselves again?
Yeah. And in our practice, we do it where patients will come in and they generally meet with our nurse practitioners first. So we have a team of NPs. They'll meet with them. They'll get their blood work run. They will oftentimes talk about their hormone prescription. And then they come see our naturopathic doctors for that whole lifestyle piece. Because we always say that menopause care is about so much more than just a prescription. We just talked about all the other things that become important. So sometimes just having the hormone prescription is like a piece of it. It's like the medical management of it, which is important. But then we need the whole like lifestyle aspect of it. So seeing an naturopathic doctor can be like a beautiful adjunct to that like lifestyle component.
You can't just eat broccoli. You need like the whole balanced meal.
Yeah.
So you might need some quinoa.
Yeah.
You might need a little bit of different protein. You might need some tofu or some sort of a meat. You need a balanced meal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is kind of what that is.
Yeah.
So I obviously run a skincare company with my mom and my sister called Birch. You've tried our products. We just had our products at one of your film screenings. Tell me about the film screening.
It was awesome. We did a documentary screening of the M Factor 2 movie, which is a movie all about perimenopause.
And everyone should see it.
It was amazing. It was great. It was a great documentary on perimenopause and just like what's happening, an explanation of it. And they do a really beautiful job in the movie of talking about the hormones plus the lifestyle, which I absolutely love to see in the movie. Yeah. Great.
Do you see a lot of women come in with skin, like their skin is changing? Explain that to me, because we get so much feedback, so many comments on our website that we've noticed of women saying, I just went through, I'm perimenopause, or I've gone through menopause and my skin has, dry patches. It doesn't feel the same. I've got different redness in places that I didn't have before. I've got eczema. I've got psoriasis. And they love Birch because it's natural, but it's effective. It's formulated to EU standards. Our mom is the formulator, so we put a lot of care and love into making sure that every formulation is going to be effective for what we say it's going to do. So I'm curious, how important is skin health going through this phase of life, and what are some changes that you see women share with you?
Yeah, so we tend to see dryness, more wrinkles start to pop up. We kind of see this accelerated aging in the skin. And I think that this is a time, at least for you and I, who are not skincare girlies at all until we were late 30s. And I was oh, it's probably time to pick up a regular moisturizer.
Are your low maintenance phase? So I our low and top quality skincare for the low maintenance. Have your avatar. So we're here for you. It's here's 3 amazing steps, maybe 4 if you feel adding it on, or you can start with 2, you can add a 3rd, you can add a 4th if you feel like it's similar to the workout, but 1 is still going to be just as effective and more effective than nothing.
Love that.
So tell us about, tell me your skincare journey and what happened with your skin going through perimenopause, knowing that you didn't have a moisture, a specific skincare routine before.
Well, I feel I started to just notice wrinkles. And I was what is all of this? My hydration was the big thing for both of us. I was oh, there's you and I saw a facial girl and she was I was look at all these wrinkles. She's I think they're more hydration. Yeah. Issues than actual wrinkles. I was
dehydrated.
And I'm well, that's exciting, but I'm I drink a lot of water. She's no, we need to start putting product on your face.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And you have to get both ways, inside and on the outside too.
That's not enough. Okay, all right, it's time. We're gonna up the skincare game. But that was I think one of the big changes that we both noticed was just needing to have a plan, have a routine, have something again that we're consistent with, that we're following, and we're not just reaching for random things. One of our favorites has actually been your face oil.
I love it. Face oil?
I love it.
Okay, what do you love about it?
I just feel it makes my skin so dewy and glowy and lovely.
Someone recently called it their skin's glass of water in the morning.
There you go.
Would that be accurate? Yeah, that's what you're looking for. Yeah, they were dehydrated. Your skin just seems a little bit of double beauty.
I put a little drop in my moisturizer, and then and I put it on at night. It's so lovely.
Tell me about your skincare routine. So what do you do? What helps your skin be healthy each day? What is your routine? What is your simple routine? Not had a routine before, and now you have one.
Go for it. Or you want me to? Go ahead. Yeah.
Well,
obviously, we're one. So one of the things is what are you doing? You can't do products without sharing them with me. That would just not be fair. Really sad. If we're having an eye cream, you're going to tell me, right? Yeah.
We are launching an eye cream soon.
Are you? Okay. Yeah. So I will wash. I will tone. I use my vitamin C.
Do you use the vitamin C?
Oh yeah. And then I will moisturize with a little drop of the double duty, and then sunscreen over top.
SPF. Do you use our sunscreen?
I don't yet.
You don't get me well. Trust me. I don't think you've even tried it yet.
I don't think I have.
Okay. Well, yeah. And SPF every day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's for preventative and just protection in general. Amazing. Is there anything that you would want to say to someone like me who's I don't know what's going on with perimenopause? I don't feel anything. Should I even go talk to you yet? Is there even a point? Should I wait until, it's bad? Yeah. Or should I come early and be preventative? And how would that conversation go? How would you talk to someone like me? Yeah. And who just turned 40. I haven't experienced perimenopause yet that I know of. Yeah. I did get really upset at my partner recently on vacation, but rightfully so. We were on a beach. I didn't have sunscreen. I didn't have an umbrella.
Yeah.
I didn't have snacks, and I didn't have enough water. And yeah.
Yeah.
And I needed those things.
Understood. This is where I would say like being proactive is like super helpful, because this is where we really want to like rule out other things and get you feeling really great, and then like lay the foundation for the healthy habits.
Yeah.
Like lay them down while you're sleeping well, while your moods are still good, and then just start tracking your cycles.
I have an Oura ring, so it does track my cycle.
Well, yeah.
And that is really helpful, knowing the luteal phase is an actual thing.
Yeah.
It's an actual thing.
Yes. So track your symptoms, track your cycles, just try to like listen, but don't be fearful about what's coming.
No.
Yeah. And like, you don't need to wait till things are like bad enough to seek out support. Like the minute you start to feel a shift, go talk to somebody who knows how to help you. Right. And even before then. Yeah. Or even like potentially.
I'm going to go early.
Yeah.
I'm booking an appointment.
Well, like getting your nutrients assessed, right? Like getting your iron in a really good spot. There's always a difference between like you're not deficient, but like, are you optimal or ideal for thriving moods?
I want to be optimal.
Exactly.
I don't think I'm optimal.
So those are like great conversations to have, right? Is like we can optimize all of these things so that as you start to navigate these changes, we know that we've checked all those boxes, that these things are all well supported, so that when we do start to see shifts, it probably has more to do with your hormones.
Take care of your health, be preventative.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to say one last thing, which is that one of the best ways that described this lifting more weights and building muscle in your 40s was I saw a doctor. It was on TikTok, and she was speaking about, she goes, listen, a lot of us are going to get sick. Maybe you won't. Maybe you will. Maybe you'll get sick for a short period of time. People get cancer. Maybe you will. Maybe you won't. She goes, but the most important thing you can do for if you do happen to get sick or something happens is that if you don't have enough muscle, doesn't matter how much you weigh, what your weight is at all. She goes, if you don't have enough muscle, you don't have enough to protect you when your body starts to get weak from being sick. And I was like, oh my God, it hit me like a ton of bricks that it wasn't about vanity. It wasn't about all these other things. It was really about having that protective layer that you need for your body to slowly break down a little bit slower if it happens to get sick or ill or something like that.
I love that. I love that like reframe. And I think that's so true. And some women are skating so close to that edge that if they do end up bedridden or they do end up, immobile, like it's going to have a huge impact on the recovery. Yes. And so if you're banking it and you have this bigger ability, if you do lose, it's not going to be so traumatic.
Yeah.
It's huge. Love that.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Make sure you check out Dr. Nic and Nat at their practice, and we will share more information below.